Okay, in previous class we discussed about what do you mean by sampling. Okay, why we need to perform acceptance sampling, and while choosing samples, so why it is important to pick samples randomly without any biases. Okay, all those things we discussed in previous class, and also we discussed about types of sampling plans. Okay, so there are four types: single, double, multiple, and sequencing. Okay, so first we will consider single sampling plans. In case of sampling plans, samples are collected once. Okay, so from a lot you may pick 100 samples, 50 or 80. Okay, depending on the sample size which you have decided on. So you are going to pick that number of samples from the lot. Okay, then so based on that you are going to make a decision whether to accept or reject based on the samples collected once. Again, the number may vary, the number may be 50, 80, 100, but it will be based on samples collected once. That is called as single sampling plans. In case of double sampling plan, so sample collected at once is not sufficient to make a decision. So you will go for one more time, you will collect sample. Then based on the results of evaluation on samples collected at two different intervals, you will make a decision. That is double sampling plan. Okay, in today's class, we are going to discuss about single sampling plans for attributes. Attributes means it is a discrete data. That means whether defective or not. Okay, that is a attribute. Okay, you have only two options. So whether to accept or reject. The product may be conforming or non-conforming. Conforming means it is within the acceptable limits. Non-conforming means it is out of the acceptable limits which we need to reject. Okay, so we are considering that type of data. So to discuss about single sampling plans. Suppose a lot of size has been submitted for inspection. So lot means, so suppose in case of batch production, okay, so in a single batch, a company may be producing 10,000 units of a product. Okay, so consider the product as pen, which we use for writing. Okay, so consider product as pen. Now, a company is producing 10,000 pieces or 10,000 units of pen per batch. Okay, now it want to evaluate the quality of these 10,000 pens, okay, which are produced in a single batch. So for that, if the company is going for single sampling plan, if it has already produced 10,000 units of pen, now it has to decide on what should be the sample size out of 10,000. How many pens should be picked for inspection? That it has to decide. Next, so out of the sample size, okay, how many defects you are expecting, okay, or what is the acceptance number? Suppose if the lot size is 10,000 and if you are picking 89 samples out of 10,000, then out of 89, okay, so if you find one defective, whether you will reject. If you find two defective, whether you will reject or accept. So that decision should be made. For that also, benchmarking should be made. That means a value should be fixed. If the number of defectives are more than that value, you will reject the lot. If the number of defectives are less than that acceptance number, you will accept the lot. Okay, this is the procedure in case of single sampling plan. You will decide on sample number and acceptance number. Okay, so you will understand after going through few points. A single sampling plan is defined by the sample size, that is denoted by lowercase n, small letter n. Capital letter N is used to lot size. Okay, lot size means it is like population, entire population. Okay, so all products which are produced in a single batch, everything will be considered. That is capital N. Whereas small n is the sample size. You are picking few samples from that lot. Okay, that is small n. And the acceptance number C. That means it is the number of defects, so which you are ready to accept as part of the it may be because of chance causes or assignable causes, or it may be because of the nature of the process where you are ready to accept some defects, But for that also there is a limit. That limit is defined by this acceptance number C. Okay, now consider an example where so company is producing 10,000 units of a pen, out of 10,000. So now it is picking 89 samples. Okay, 89 units, 89 pens for evaluating the quality. Okay, so out of 89, if 2 are defective or less than 2 are defective, so then company is ready to accept the lot. Okay, if it is more than 2, so it will reject it. It will not release that those pens to market, because so the brand value of the company may decline. Okay, or suppose if if some other company is procuring these pens and it may put some labels and it may market those pens in their own brand. Again, they are evaluating quality from the suppliers. Okay, so there are different cases. Okay, so even in textile industries it will happen. So there are companies which will produce this textile products. Okay, but they don't have their own brand. Okay, so companies, so other companies will procure them and they will put label and brands and they will market them. Okay, this will happen for most of the products. Okay, in that case also, the company which is going to do marketing, okay, so they will so check the quality, so using the single sampling plan. So the meaning of this is, so there is a lot having size 10,000, so in which, so we are picking sample 89 samples, 89 units of pen, and the number of non-conforming or defective item D is observed. Okay, out of 10,000, so we are picking 89 samples for evaluation. Out of 89, how many are defective? That we are going to check. Next, depending on this number of defectives, we are going to make a decision. If the number of observed defectives denoted by D is less than or equal to acceptance number C, the lot will be accepted. Okay, you are ready to accept a lot where defectives are equal or less than 2. If it is more than 2, you will reject. Okay, so that exact number of defectives will be given by this value D. Okay, this is based on inspection. Okay, if it is inspection of dimensions, you may use vernier caliper or other measuring instruments. Okay, if it is weight, you may be using a weighing machine. Okay, like that. So you can use sensors. Okay, you can use load cells. Okay, and you can make a decision. Suppose if the number of observed defectives D is greater than 2, the lot will be rejected, because so you are ready to accept if there are 2 defectives or less than that, but you are not ready to accept if it is greater than 2. That means out of 89, if 3 are defective, so you will reject the entire lot. You will reject all 10,000 units manufactured in that particular batch. That is the meaning. Next, OC curve. Okay, this is a operating characteristic curve. This curve is used to get an idea regarding, okay, if the number of defectives is this much, okay, what is the probability of accepting a lot? So if the number of defectives are okay 3 out of 100, then what is the probability that these lots will be accepted while making a decision? What is the probability that these lots will be rejected while making a decision? That picture we are going to get with the help of this OC curve, that is operating characteristics curve. An important measure of the performance of an acceptance sampling plan is the operating characteristic curve. So this is the plot of probability of acceptance denoted by PA on y-axis, then lot fraction defective along x-axis. Okay, lot fraction defective means, so if lot fraction defective value is 0.01, that is the meaning of this is, so 1% of units are defective. Okay, if the lot size is 10,000, 1% of 10,000 means how much? Okay, if the lot size is 10,000, 1% of 10,000 means how much? So 1% of 10,000, what is the value? Okay, so that means, so 1% of 10,000 means, so 100 units are defective. That is the lot fraction defective. Okay, suppose if out of 10,000, if 100 units are defective, then you will get 0.01 as lot fraction defective. That is 100 by 10,000. That will give you this value. Okay, if so 2% are defective. Okay, that is denoted in decimal as 0.02. So 0.03 means 3% defective, 4%, 5%, 6, 7, 8, like that. So you are considering defectives in a lot, okay, in terms of fraction, okay, on x-axis. On y-axis, so you are considering probability of acceptance, okay. Suppose the meaning of that is, so for 0.02, okay, so if you look at the value, okay, for 0.02, you are getting somewhere here, okay, you are getting a point here. So the meaning of that, this is, if the number of defectives in a lot is 2%, okay, number of defectives in a lot is 2%, then the probability of accepting that lot will be nearer to 74%, okay. So that is the meaning. This curve plots the probability of accepting the lot versus the lot fraction defective. For this example, okay, if the number of defectives in a lot is 2%, that is, if the lot size is 10,000, 2% of 10,000 means 200 units. If 200 out of 1,000 are defective, 10,000 are defective, then the probability of accepting that lot based on this sampling plan, that is n is equal to 89 and 3 is equal to 2, that probability will be this much. That is, it is almost nearer to 74%. Okay. So on the graph sheet, you will get the exact number. If you draw a horizontal line, okay, you will get the exact value on y-axis. OC curve shows the probability that a lot submitted with a certain fraction defective will be either accepted or rejected. For this example of 0.02, okay, so the probability of acceptance is 74%. The probability of rejection of this lot is 26%. That means, suppose if there are 100 similar lots, okay, of 10,000 each, so out of 100, 74 will be accepted, okay, 26 will be rejected. That is the probability of acceptance. P is the fraction of defective items in the lot. So on the x-axis, we are plotting the values of P, that is lot fraction defective. Okay, P is the fraction of defective items in the lot. The probability of acceptance is simply the probability that D is less than or equal to C. Okay, so in the previous sampling plan, so here we are fixing acceptance number as 2. That means 2 defectives can be accepted. Okay, more than 2 cannot be accepted. Here, the probability of acceptance, simply the probability that D, that is number of defectives after evaluation, is less than or equal to C. So for that, you have a equation. Okay, this is PA is probability of acceptance. So you are going to accept when number of defectives are less than this acceptance number. Okay, in this case it is 2. If the number of defectives are less than or equal to 2, we are going to accept the lot. Okay, so probability of acceptance is probability that we are going to get number of defectives less than or equal to acceptance number C. Now, so for that we have this equation. Okay, we have to consider values defectives from 0 to 2. Okay, first substitute defective as 0. Okay, probability of getting 0 defectives. So D will be 0 factorial. N is, for the previous example, N is 89. That is the sample size. Okay, so for first case we are considering D as 0. Okay, then N will be 89. So P value, that also we should know. Okay, so fraction defective. Okay, large fraction defective. Then we can get the value. Substitute P N D in this equation, and you can get the value. So you can, here you can see, if the large fraction defective is P, if you know large fraction defective, that means out of 10,000, how many are defective? If you have an idea regarding that, okay, so you can find probability of acceptance. Okay, so if you know P value, N and C, then you can substitute in this equation. Okay, so here in this example, C is 2, so C value will be 2. Next, C is 2. Okay, so then D should vary from 0 to 2, and you should add all three values 0, 1 and 2. Okay, so N is 89, P is 0.01, and then 1 minus P, so that you will get 0.99, because 1 minus 0.01, you will get 0.99. So N will be 89. So D, we will consider individual values. Okay, in the next equation you can see, since it is summation from D0 to 1, initially we will consider D value as 0. Okay, so 0 factorial. Substitute the value. D is 0, 0. Okay, next we are considering probability of acceptance when the defective is 1. Okay, when number of defective in the samples, in 89 samples is 1. Okay, so that we are checking. Next, we are considering D value as 2. That is, number of defectives are 2 out of 89. You will add these individual probabilities and you will get overall probability of acceptance. Okay, obviously, if the number of defectives is 0, the probability of acceptance will be more. Okay, if you find individual values of only this one, okay, it will be nearer to 0.4 something. So for this you will get 0.3 something. Again, it will be less than 0.3 something. So like that, so probability of acceptance if the defective is 0 is more compared to probability of acceptance if the defective is 1. So in order to get overall probability of acceptance for a range of defectives from 0 to 2, you will add these individual probabilities and you will get the overall value. So for this you are getting 0.9397. That means if the number of defectives are less than or equal to 2, okay, the probability of accepting that lot will be 93.97%, 94%. Rejecting that lot will be 6%. That is the meaning. Okay. Similarly, you can find out probability of acceptance values for different P values. Okay, so on x-axis you are considering P values. Okay, for P values you can find out PA in a similar manner. Okay, so we considered an example of this. Okay, in the previous slide we considered P value as 0.01 this, and we got P acceptance probability of acceptance as 0.9397. Okay, in the similar manner, you can substitute P value as 0.005. If you substitute P value as 0.005 in this equation, okay, so here for P value remaining same. Okay, you have to substitute the same values in the equation. Only change this P value instead of 0.01. So take 0.005. Okay, so in both cases, and you will get this value. Similarly, for 0.020, 030, you can find the values of PA using this equation. And procedure is, you have an example by following this procedure. Okay. Then, so after getting probability of acceptance values for various fraction defective values, you can plot this curve. Okay. So you know for 0.005, so that means here the value is 0.9897. Okay, it is 0.8. So here you will get 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, 7, 9. Okay, for 0.05. Okay, so you have value of 0.9897. Okay, so it will lie somewhere here. Next, for 0.01, 9397. Okay, for next 0.02, 73. Okay, next for 0.03, 49. Okay, next 0.04, it is 0.30. Okay, next for 0.05, 0.172. Okay, next 0.06. So you have some value for 0.07, 0.04, next 0.08. So like that you have these values. Okay, so get the points like this. Next, using freehand, so connect these points. Okay, using freehand, connect the points, you will get the OC curve. This is the procedure to plot operation characteristic curve. Okay. Next, the OC curve shows the discriminatory power of the sampling plan. Discriminatory power means, so here you have to discriminate whether to accept or not. Okay, in order to make a decision to accept, there must be some criteria, or to reject, there must be criteria. That is the discriminatory power. Discriminatory power is what is the confidence level at which you can make a decision regarding whether to accept a lot or reject it. Okay, so that is represented by this OC curve. For example, okay, if the fraction defective is 0.5%, so if the defective percentage is 0.5 and in fraction it is 0.005, in this case, so probability of acceptance is 98.97%. Okay, rejection is very less. Here the discriminatory power is more. Okay, since you are confident that so defective or less, so you are accepting it. Almost you are accepting it. Okay, like that it will give an idea. If the defective percentage is this much, what is the probability that a lot will be accepted? What is the probability that lot will be rejected? That idea you will get with the help of OC curve. For example, in the sampling plan, again same sampling plan where sample size is 89 and acceptance number is 2. If the lots are 2% defective, if the lots are having 2% defects, the probability of acceptance is approximately 0.74%. So here you can see, so you have the values of fraction defective and probability of acceptance. Procedure we have discussed, how to find out PA values, that we discussed earlier. Now, so 2% defective means in fraction it is 0.02. Okay, this is the fraction defective for 2% defective. Okay, next, probability of acceptance value. Okay, here you can see it is 0.7366. If you round it up to 2 digits, it will be 0.74. Okay, that is the meaning. So for example, in the sampling plan, n is 80 equal to 82, 89, and C, that is the acceptance number, is 2. If the lots are 2% defective, the probability of acceptance is approximately 0.74. This means that if 100 lots from a process that manufactures 2% defective product are submitted to this sampling plan, that is for this number of samples and for this benchmark, that is this acceptance number, the probability of acceptance is 74 of the lots, okay, out of 100 for this sampling plan, for this result, for this probability of acceptance, out of 100 you will accept 74 lots and reject 26 of them. Okay, so this will give an idea. Okay, so if you are producing, if you are maintaining a process at a certain level, okay, what is the probability that consumer will accept your products? Okay, or what is the probability that consumer will reject your products? Okay, it is about probability. Okay, so what is the probability of this chance? What is the probability of occurrence of this chance? So like that, it is a game of probability. Okay. Next, so effect of n, that is sample size, and C, acceptance number on OC curves, operation characteristic curves. A sampling plan that discriminated perfectly between good and bad lots would have an OC curve that looks like this. Okay, in previous case you saw, okay, 74%, out of 74% we will accept it, 26% we will reject it. But again, the lot quality remains same. Number of defectives in the lot remains same. Then also 74 times we are accepting that, 26 times for the same lot we are rejecting it. There is no difference between these 100 lots. Okay, all 100 lots are same. Then also 26 times we are rejecting, 74 times we are accepting. Okay, same quality, same thing. Then also we are making incorrect decision. Okay, but so that is a fact, that is the reality that we should accept. Okay, now also if you look how we are managing this corona pandemic, okay, whether it may be vaccination. Okay, for vaccination also there is a probability. Okay, if you are vaccinated with a particular vaccine from a particular manufacturer, the probability that once you get corona, okay, the probability that so you will be hospitalized is 90%, is 89%, like that they are saying. No one is saying that it is 100%, because again it is a fact. So we have to work on this probability. Okay, so here also same thing. In quality control also we are following the same approach. Okay, so if the number of defectives are this much, the probability of acceptance is 74, rejection is 26. Like if you are vaccinated, the probability of hospitalization will be only 0.1. Okay, so or 10%. So remaining 90% you are safe. So like that, it's a game of probability. Okay, so we don't have other options, we don't have better options. But in ideal case, you can get like this, but in reality it is not possible. Okay, what is that ideal case that we'll discuss now? A sampling plan that discriminated perfectly between good and bad lots would have an OC curve that looks like this. The meaning of this is, so if the number of defectives is a particular value, okay, if it is less than that, and the possibility of accepting that is 100%. If it is more than that, the possibility of rejection is also 100%. So this make a clear differentiation, but practically, so none of the OC curve will look like this. Okay, so they will take a different shape. Okay, that we will discuss. Why we are able to make clear differentiation in this case is, suppose if the lot fraction defective value is less than 0.01, here you can see the probability of acceptance is 100%. 1 means 100% you are accepting the lots when if the lot fraction defective is less than 0.1%. That means if the defectives are less than 1% of the lot, you are accepting the lot. That is the meaning. Suppose if the defective are more than 1%, then probability of acceptance is 0. Here you can see from 0.01 onwards. That means for 1% defective, you are rejecting. For 2% also, you are not accepting anything. You are completely rejecting the lot if it consists of defectives more than 1%. You are accepting all lots which have defectives less than 1%. But in reality, it is not possible. Okay, you cannot estimate like this. Okay, you cannot get a clear picture like this. In order to get a clear picture, you should go for 100% inspection. Okay, that is with the help of automation technologies. If you go for 100% inspection, then it may be possible to make a decision like this, where everything is clear. Okay, if you do 100% inspection, but already we discussed the merits and demerits associated with 100% inspection. Okay, why we cannot go for 100% inspection, in what cases we should go for it, in what cases we should not go for 100% inspection. So why acceptance sampling is better than two extremes of going for 100% inspection or not inspecting any, not inspecting. Okay, all those we discussed in previous class. So this is what I explained. The OC curve runs horizontally. That means from year to year it is horizontal. That is, in this case, acceptance is 100%. That is 1. Okay, until a level of lot that is considered bad is reached. Okay, the lot will reach level of bad at 1% defective. That is 0.01 fraction defective. Okay, at which point the curve drops vertically to a probability of acceptance 0. Okay. Okay, if the defective percentage is 1, then it will reach 0. That means if the defective percentage is 1, we don't accept the lot. Then again, if it is more than 1, so we don't accept it. And then the curve runs horizontally again for all lot fraction defectives greater than undesirable level. If such a sampling plan could be employed, all lots of bad quality would be rejected and all lots of good quality would be accepted. Unfortunately, the ideal OC curve can almost never be obtained in practice. Okay, consider again vaccines for corona. Okay, now we don't have it, so we don't have any vaccine where if you get vaccinated, so there is 100% confidence that you are safe. We don't have that type of vaccine. Okay, only thing is we have efficacy data for different vaccine. One efficacy may be 89%, efficacy of another vaccine may be 95%. 100% efficacy we don't have. So that is the ideal case. But in reality, we don't get like that. In quality control also, so we cannot make decisions where we are 100% confident. That is a rare case. Okay. In theory, it could be reached by 100% inspection if the inspection were error-free. So again, if you go for 100% inspection also, no guarantee that you are making right decision, because there's a possibility of error in inspection also. Even if you are using inspection technologies, like if you are using automation technologies with lot of sensors, again sensors also may fail. Okay, there may be problem with these machines also. At times they will give incorrect results. Again, because of that also we may get errors. Okay, so at every step there is a possibility of making an incorrect decision because of various reasons. The ideal OC curve shape can be approached, however, by increasing the sample size. Even though it is not possible for us to make this clear differentiation between whether to accept or reject. Okay, so we can improve. That means instead of 100% good correct decision, so from 80 to 85% we can improve. From 85 to 90 we can try to improve. For that, what we should do is, so we should increase the sample size. Okay, if we increase the sample size, so the probability of making good decisions will be high. Okay, so that we will discuss. So here you can see. So you can see the pattern of the curve, okay, and the sample size. Okay, so the C values, that is acceptance number, vary with n. Okay, for 60 you are considering, 50 you are considering 1, for 100 you are considering 2, for 200 you are considering C. So it will vary in the same proportion. Okay, here we are not considering how C will have an impact on this curve, that we are not discussing. What we are discussing is when the value of n changes, so how it is having an impact on the pattern of the curve. Okay, here you can see for 50, 100 and 200. When you consider the slope of the curve, okay, the slope of the curve will be I for n is equal to 200. That means here it has spreaded like this. It is all wide, okay, where it is like vertical. Okay, it is approaching a vertical shape, which is ideal. Okay, figure 15.4, that means this figure shows that the OC curve becomes more like the idealized OC curve shape as the sample size increases. So now we can see compared to this, so this is approaching vertical orientation. Okay, note that the acceptance number C is kept proportional to n. That means we are considering 1 for 50, for 100 to 200, 4. Okay. Thus, the precision with which a sampling plan differentiates between good and bad lots increases with the size of the sample. The greater is the slope of the OC curve, the greater is the discriminatory power. That means you will have more confidence to make a decision regarding whether to accept it or reject it. Next, the effect of changing the acceptance number on the OC curve. So here you are keeping sample size constant, you are changing the acceptance number. Okay, so 0, 1, 2. So here you are getting 3 curves. If you look at the slope, okay, slope almost remains same. Only thing is, if the C value is less, it is shifting towards left, but slope almost remain same. That means this acceptance number don't have much impact on increasing the discriminatory power. It will not give clear idea. Okay, if you want to enhance quality of your decisions, if you want to enhance the probability of making good decision, then you have to increase the sample size. So this figure shows how the OC curve changes as the acceptance number change, that is C changes. Generally, changing the acceptance number does not dramatically change the slope of the curve. Okay, so if you draw slope of this curve, the values remain almost same. As the acceptance number is decreased, the OC curve is shifted to the left. Only thing is curves are shifting towards left, but slope remain same. Okay, so these 3 curves we discussed. This is the ideal case. So if you want to get better picture regarding whether to accept or reject, okay, so we should go for greater number of n. You should choose more number of samples. Okay, but that itself is having its own merits and demerits. If you are choosing more samples, again you have to invest more resources for inspection. It will consume more time, it will require more manpower. Okay, it will consume more time. That is the problem associated with choosing more number of samples, but it will give us better better picture regarding whether to accept or reject a lot. Okay, so this is okay. So next specific points on the OC curve, we will discuss about this